All right, hello, folks. How's it going? Can anyone hear me, or do people want me to use a mic? Good? OK, sweet. My name's Hanah. I am a front-end developer at Sephora. I literally just started my first week, so this lecture, I just finished writing it about 6 minutes ago. So this is going to be like the chillest, like maybe hazardous lecture ever, but we're going to get through it. If you have any questions or any clarifications, please stop me at any time. I'd love to answer your questions. I also might be eating pizza because I'm starving. OK, cool. So Git. Anyone have any ideas as to what Git is? Just throw it out there. Yeah?
It is a repository to store your code.
It's a repository to store your code. OK, cool. Any other? Yeah? Files for version control? Allows for version control. Yes. OK. Any other suggestions? OK. We'll get to that. I like it. We'll get to that. Let's see. Is this going to work? OK. Before we actually do get started on Git, for those of you who want to follow along, first of all, the slides are available at this bit.ly, Git 8 tutorial _ 8 tutorial, whatever. And then there's a reference guide that I started building but haven't finished. So I will be finished with it soon. But that has a lot of the commands and stuff that we're using today. If you want, while I'm talking, to download Git onto your computer, and then also sign up for a GitHub account, and also if you don't have a coding text editor, if you're using like Text Wrangler or something, please don't. Use Sublime or use Atom or use something else. It provides nice syntax highlighting for your code, which is awesome. And then, can everyone see the slides? Actually, can someone test that out to see if you can see it? Cool, sweet. So yeah, you have to download Git onto your computer, and then you also have to get a GitHub account, and I'll talk about the differences between those pretty shortly. Can you see everything? Should I make this larger? No? Cool. Yep. Sweet. So while you folks are downloading, I'm actually going to talk a little bit about command line. So there is a graphical interface for Git. It's a little bit of a different workflow, and I actually don't even know how to use it. So we're going to do it the hard way, which is via command line. So we're going to do a super quick command line exercise. What is command line? For those who don't know, it's like texting with your computer. Instead of like having a whole bunch of folders and whatnot that you have on your computer, command line, essentially, it's in text form. This is kind of like the older way that people used computers back when computers didn't really have any sort of graphics or anything. And it's kind of cool because you can see the path of where, depending on which type of computer you have, you can see the path to your files, which file you're in. And this is the area where you type your command in. So here you're inside of the hello world. That's actually not a file, it's a folder, which is inside of the IC211. This is going to look a bit different depending on what computer you're on or what configuration you're on. To open it on, I think, Windows, it's like a Windows command line. And then for Mac, it's terminal or iterm, depending on what you have. Questions? Command line's like really weird. I was like terrified of command line at first because I was afraid that I was going to F something up. But now I feel like a wizard every time. I feel like like an actual hacker. Common commands to list all the files and folders. I'll just do a quick demo of this. So, derp. So I'm right now inside of my documents folder. Let me actually move that down so you can see that a little bit better. So I'm inside of my documents folder right now. If I want to see all the files, I do ls. On Windows, it's dir. If I want to, say, move into my AutoCAD project, which I don't even know what that is. Actually, no, I want to move into my projects folder. I'm going to cd, change directories. Directories is folder. cd into projects. Cool. I can also then check again what projects I have in here. This is literally the exact same as using your kind of Finder or whatever folder system you have is just via text. And then I have a whole bunch of projects here, including a unicorns database. Anyways, if I want to make a folder, it's called make dir. Folder, you put your folder name here, right? If I want to create a file, I just touch the file. For Windows, it'll be null file name, something like that. I don't use Windows. This might be wrong. It also might give you like a weird little dialog pop-up box. Just ignore it. It should be there. I think that's about all the commands you need. So this will also allow you to move around as well. So I can CD up into something. I can CD up twice. Cool. Sounds good? Sweet. Let's do it together. This lecture I wrote when I was teaching at Girls Who Code, so this was extremely apt. But let's actually just really quickly all together now, let's go ahead and open up a terminal if you'd like, and we're just going to create this together. I'm going to get into my documents. Why is that not working? Let's see, ls. So open up your terminal and navigate to wherever you'd like. Oh, I need to get into myself. That's good. Oh my God. OK, there we go. And then I'm going to cd to my documents. And then here, I'm going to make a directory. I'm going to make a directory bands. Right? And then how do I move into that folder? Well, I can always check to make sure that I made it. I made it right here. How do I move into that folder? CD bands. OK, you guys are so smart. Oh my goodness. And then I want to create another file, another folder called One Direction. How do I make another folder named One Direction? Make dir, what did I say? One Direction. OK, you get the idea. CD into that. There should be a combine. It would be really nice if there is a combine command to do make a directory and move into it. I'm sure there exists. You can make it yourself. But I'm going to skip the members folder. I'm just going to create a file. I want to create Harry Styles because he's my favorite. How do I make a file? Touch. Harry Styles. .text. All right, sweet sauce. So now we have this awesome. We've got Harry Styles inside of One Direction if I want to go back to bands and if I want to go back to documents. Cool. Zooming right past. Sweet. So this is just to kind of, if you want to look at it later about how this works. All right, version control. So how do we save things in Word? You save things, and it kind of creates a snapshot, right? And you can go to your, actually in Word, you totally have history access, which is pretty cool. You can see what your file was in previous stages. Just to let you know, if you're ever sending your resume out to employers as a Word document, that history comes with it. So make sure you create like a PDF instead. And then Google Doc actually gets a step closer to doing collaborative version control because you can see all the people and all the changes that they made, but it's still only one document. You only have one copy of one document, and that gets kind of hard. Like, what if I have, I need to send out, I had 2 TAs this past summer. I had Michelle and Sam, and I had to send out a form as to what their favorite band was. And Michelle gave me a paper back called with Beyonce, and Sam was One Direction, and then I had to then go and like put these 2 papers together and like rewrite everything. That's just kind of annoying, right? So what Git does is that it allows you to do that. It essentially allows you to create copies of your code so you can work on different multiple copies of the same code base, as well as allow other people to do that as well. And what that kind of looks like, it kind of looks like this. This is how it kind of tracks it. I created the main document. It tracks the fact that that was made by me, and it tracks the changes made. I added, form fields, right? And then over time, I send it out to Michelle. The changes made, she added Beyonce. And then it also tracks the fact that Sam made some changes as well to her copy, and then I get to merge them together. Cool. So that's what's really cool about version control, is that Git tracks that. Now, you might have heard about Git, and then you might have also heard about GitHub. Now, what's the difference? GitHub is the online cloud component that allows you to share your project with other people. Git is the local software on your computer that allows you to do all the things you need to do, and then GitHub is what you will move up to. I actually want a marker. So it's like GitHub exists kind of in a cloud up here, online, in a cloud. And then you have your local computer, because that's definitely what a computer looks like nowadays. And then you have your local. Cool? So that connects. Git's on here, GitHub's up here. And a little bit more about the differences between the two. Once again, Git's a software that allows you to do version control. and then GitHub is the online platform. No, you can use Git locally. You don't have to involve GitHub in the process, but if you want other people to see your work, or if you want team members on your work, you need to get GitHub involved. Cool? Any questions so far? No, I'm explaining this so perfectly. You guys are going to be so set. OK. Repository. What's a repository? A repository is a project folder. It's like where all your files go. And so as you can see here on my GitHub, you can see the fact that I have many different projects or repositories. I have Overattired, which is like a vintage clothing customer matching platform that I'm working on. I have Lindy Hop, which is swing dancing, so I've got a map that I'm working on it. This is one of my students' projects that I was helping. I built a Sudoku. So these are all my projects, right? And there might be multiple files and folders inside of that. So these are all my files and folders, and then there's folders within folders. But this is like the repository is the topmost level project folder. This is important because you do not want to have repositories inside repositories. OK? And I'll explain a little bit why later. So option 1, you can create repositories local on your computer, move into any folder, and just type git init, and it'll add a Git file that will start tracking everything. Option 2, which is what we're going to do today, is you can create Git repos on your GitHub account and then move. So you create the folder on your GitHub account, and then you move it down to your computer, and the two are tracked. So today we're going to be let's actually do the thing where we configure your GitHub to your local, because we want to make sure that your Git on your computer knows that your user on GitHub is you. So let's go ahead and type into our terminal git config -- global user.name and whatever username you just gave Git, and then git config -- global user.email, your email. I'm going to kind of speed through this so that we can make sure that we get to everything. I'll wait like 30 seconds and actually take a bite of pizza. And then afterwards, I'm more than happy to solve problems and any concerns at any point. So this is essentially saying, hey, GitHub, the Git on my computer is tracking you. It's like your computer's like, cool, no problem. I just realized this mic is going to record me chewing. If you don't have a GitHub account yet, this is not going to work. By the way, this is like 4 lectures smashed into one, and the fact that we're like 16 minutes in already on this is a good sign. So I might be able to talk about some other things at the end that I don't necessarily have slides for, which is cool. All right, a few more seconds. Yeah, so you have to type in user.name, though, and then you type in your username. In the quotation marks, yep. Yep, exactly. Yeah?
So would it look like that? Like, okay, erase that. But
yep, that looks correct. Yeah, and then if you just check, you can check it, git config user.name, your name should pop up. There you go. You can check if this has been successfully completed by going to your terminal. And I can just say git config. I just want to check that my user.name is there. Yendler. Cool. So I can check to see if it's configurated. That is a good point. Thank you. Sometimes your command line is not that responsive about like what's going on. So if you type it in and nothing happens, then it probably happened successfully. Normally it'll err on like the side of like not telling you anything unless something is wrong. OK, I'm going to move on. Burp, 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 burp. OK, we're going to create a repo on your GitHub, and then we're going to move it down to your computer. So how do you do that? You're going to go to your GitHub. There's a little plus button. I'm going to create a new repository. Now, we're going to be doing today essentially your username on GitHub gets one free website, just like a basic static front-end website, and that's what we're going to be doing. So I'm going to try to point out, I already have that existed, so I'm not going to be creating that, but I will try to point out for you where you should type what exactly, so listen closely. When you create this new repository, type in order for this to be your like GitHub free website, type in your username, .github.io. Now, I already have one of these. So for me, this would be like, I already have one of these. It's hyendler.github.io. Yeah, I already have it. So I'm just going to do a repository called I love octocats. Right? So this is where we deviate. You're going to have your username.github.io, and I'm going to have I love octocats. Sweet. Public, private, you have to pay for. So if you don't want anyone to see your code, you can go private. If you really want to create free private repositories without paying, there's another program called GitLab that will allow you to have free private repos. And then initialize with a README. The README is like your front page for your GitHub project. Let me just show you what that looks like. We're not going to be doing one today, but at least you can have one. Let's see, over attired. If it loads, which it will. So this is my over attired, and then this right here is my README. This is my README. It has the technical interview. It has documentation, installation, running the project, et cetera. And then my team that worked on it. We look fabulous. So this is actually my final project here at Devbootcamp. So yeah, so that's like kind of like your front page of your GitHub repo. We're going to initialize with a README, add a git ignore, add a license. Normally people do MIT. You can read up on the different type of licenses. It means that like my code is free to be copied by anyone. Create repository. Sweet. We have an I love octocats repository, except that there should be a README. I don't know why it's still loading. Come on, internet. We normally don't have this many people on Wi-Fi, so I think it's a little slow. Anyways. Yep, nothing's working. Huzzah. OK, if it's working for you, the next step is to clone or download. Download, you actually get a file. Clone, you're just going to get the URL of your repository. Copy it to your clipboard. I'm glad I wrote this all. Oh, here we go. Sweet. So copy to my clipboard. Copied. Sweet sauce. Now, you want to get into wherever you want this folder to live in your terminal, on your local. So I want this to live inside of my projects. So I'm going to move inside of my projects. And then I'm just going to type git clone, paste the URL. Now, for Windows terminal, I don't think you can copy and paste. So you might have to just like write it all out. Windows sucks. I'm sorry, guys. So I'm cloning it down. So now if I check my projects, you can see that I have I love octocats inside of here. Sweet. Now, how do I move into my I love octocats folder? CD I love octocats. I heard someone almost start to say it. Y'all can yell out. OK, great. And if we do ls inside of here, we can see we have the README and the license. Awesome. We are like going strong. And actually, this is not in the thing, but you can always check where this is linked up to. This is linked up to my origin, which is essentially my GitHub. Cool. So, any questions? If this didn't work for anybody, I'll help you afterwards.
So if you have a Windows,
yeah.
it's not working.
Like cloning it?
No, yeah, like putting it back, like creating that project folder and then putting it from your, like putting the link into your, putting it from GitHub to local.
Yeah, so you will need to GitHub to local. So you're not right now inside of your projects folder. So, so you need to git clone. Remember I typed git clone? There was, so yeah, so git, G-I-T, clone, and then the URL. So clone this into, yeah, there you go.
Okay, thank you.
So remember, cloning down is Git Clone. Any other actually quick questions I can answer? Sweet. That was essentially what we were doing, Git Clone, the project URL. Cool. Almost finished. We CD'd into that. Note, do not put repos inside of repos, because the thing is, if you put a repo inside of a repo, I mentioned this earlier, but I'm mentioning it again. If you put a repo inside of a repo, Git will not know what changes to track. And it'll get very confused as to where it's pushing to. Essentially, it's like you'll have like 2 points of where it's pushing to, and it won't know what's going on. OK, committing. So how do we save things? Commits are essentially snapshots of your code at a particular time. They each have a message associated with them, so you can say what you've done. And you can see all your commits and comments with them called git log. I have these comments here: made the README better, resolve merge conflict. These are not the best commit types of messages. They're a little too general. I just wanted to show you what bad commit messages. You don't want like a whole paragraph, but you like want to say something about other than the like I made something better. Like, what did you actually do? It's like, oh, I added actual content, something like that. So how to make a commit? We're going to do this all together. I'm just going to talk a little bit about it first. You make changes to a file, you add a file, not inside of the bands repo. We're going to be doing this inside of, I need to edit that. I'm just going to do that right now. Inside your repo. You check the status. Tracked on track is a file being tracked by Git. Staged on stage are the changes made to a file being tracked by Git. Once again, we'll show this in a minute. You git add the file, so you're saying, hey, can I track this or can I stage this? Git commit -m, it means like I want to enter a short message. And it's like, I did a thing. And then git status, did it save? So those are the commands you'll be using for the commit cycle. So this is also just in visual form for those of you who like pretty pictures. The arrows are like not the best, but whatever. So this is what we're going to do. We're just going to follow along with me, and we're going to figure out how to commit. So we're on master right now. I will talk about that a little bit later. Let's say git status. Your branch is up to date. Nothing to commit. Working directory clean. OK, let's make some things happen. So we're going to make a directory called CSS. We're going to cd into that directory. And we're going to create a file called styles.css. Sweet. I'm going to move up out of that directory. I'm going to make a directory called images. And then at some point, I'll probably save an image in there, but we're not going to worry about that right now. And then actually, I'm pretty happy right now with where I'm at. I added the images. I added the CSS. Let's create a commit. Maybe not the best place to commit, because we really haven't done too much. But I just want to show you what a commit looks like. So I'm going to do git status. Untracked files inside of my CSS folder. OK, cool. I'm going to add that. Let me increase the size on this a little bit. I'm going to add that. So I can add the file itself, or I can just add everything. Dot means everything. And then git commit -m, add CSS file / folder and images folder. I always do this in the present tense. If I check my status, nothing to commit. Cool. Now, I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to add my HTML. Touch index.html. Great, git status. Oh, look, I have a new file. Sweet. Git add, git commit -m, add HTML, add index, git status. I always status add and commit, and then status again, just to make sure that everything happened OK. Because sometimes I'm like not paying attention to what I'm doing, and stuff might not save. Cool. So that's just kind of the commit cycle. Now, where's my mouse? I don't know where my mouse is. OK. When is it good to commit? It's good to commit early and often. When you've completed some small task, written a method, reformatted a section of code, added a file, even if empty, that might be a little too granular. Like, let's say like adding all my content or most of my content for my HTML page, and I'm done with that. That's like a great place to commit. Getting the CSS of my sidebar awesome and pretty. That's a great time to commit, right? Commit only when you have working code. There's no point in committing like not working code. Yeah. Explain that in a minute. Hold on to that. It's important to do your commits in your topmost level folder because let's say like it's not necessary, but let's say you like I have my my CSS. I'm inside of my CSS folder and I make some changes here, but then I also made some changes in images. If I commit in the CSS folder, it's not going to track the changes that I made in my images folder. So when you commit, always be on your topmost level folder. It's just like a good way to go. Any questions? Yeah.
But I actually put my images folder in my CSS one. So is there an easy way to just transfer images back to the
Yes, moving folders. I'm terrible at this. Moving folders. So if I'm in CSS and I have a folder, let's call it, well, in my case, JS. I'm going to say move my CSS/JS folder into my current folder. Let's see if that worked. Yeah, there it is. So yeah, so the first entry here is wherever the folder or file currently is, and then the second entry is where you want it to be. And since I want it to be in the same folder where I'm at, it's just JS. So I'm essentially creating that. Cool. Let's see if let's see if it's still there. Nope, it's not. Sweet, I did move it out. Cool. Questions? I mentioned this before, but watch out for your commit messages. If you read this a little bit, it gets kind of bad, especially if it's like 11 p.m. at night and you're just like, Especially when you start working with other people, it's really important to have good commit messages so that other people can see what you've been doing and make sense of it. OK, let's move on. Git branches. So what's this master thing that you've been seeing on the side right here, this little green guy? Let's talk about that. Situation, you need to add a feature to your project but want to keep a clean working copy of your code at the same time. What would be a good feature? Like a chat box, a CSSing actually is totally like, design is totally a feature. Sharing, an email client, I don't know, whatever your heart's desire. But essentially it's like a self-contained unit of something, a goal that you want to accomplish. So here's the thing though, is that like, on one hand, I want to create something new, like a chat box. But on the other hand, I also want to maintain my perfect working version of my own code. How do I do that? Well, I need to create a copy. And that copy is what's called branches. Branches are copies of your code that you can create, edit, and then once you have working, merge into your final pristine code. Essentially, I never want to be, you know how I was working off of master and I just committed on master? I never want to actually be doing that. That was like bad practice. Do you have a question? Nope. OK, cool. He's just yawning. Branches are like self-contained sandboxes for your code because you've created a copy and it doesn't affect the final perfect code. You can try whatever you want. So you can create a branch and then not merge it in because something failed miserably. Like I installed a piece of software that just messed everything up. Then I just don't use that branch anymore, etc. Cute little thing about how branches work. So you create a branch, Glass's feature branch. I add features to my Octocat, and then I still have my master branch, and then I have another feature branch where I add a Jedi robe, and then when I combine the two, this is where the merging of your actual code happens. When I combine, you got a Jedi cat with a robe. Yeah, with sunglasses. So how do you actually create branches, and what does that look like? To create a branch, git branch, feature branch name. Check out to that branch, so AKA hop on over to that copy of that code, that slice of code. And then the shorthand for the two above is get checkout -b. And we'll do this together in just a second. We're actually going to talk about that a little bit later. Actually, let's talk about that now. So, Git workflow. What's the process? What's the process? I create my repo. I want a new feature. I add files, make changes, get status, add, commit. So this is the commit cycle, right? As soon as I'm done, like as soon as I have my basic index.html set up, as soon as I'm done with this process, am I done with this feature? Yes. Merge it in. And then start again. Check out a new branch. Start again. Commit, 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 commit. Do. So let's do that together. Let's actually add some content. For those of you who don't know HTML and CSS, sorry, just type along. It's going to be OK. If you do, great. Fantastic. If you have any questions, stop me at any time. So we're going to do a thing where we're just going to add some content. Now, I'm going to create a new branch. So I'm creating essentially, remember, branches are like entire copies of my code, like sandbox entire copies of my code. Get checkout -b. We're going to call this content feature. You can call this whatever you want. Doesn't matter. OK, cool. So if you ls, you see that you still have everything that you already have. So I have a shortcut installed where I can open Sublime directly from my terminal. You might have to go to your actual graphical interface and do that. I do have, I think in the third slide, how to install this shortcut, or links to how to install this shortcut. So if you want to open this in a text editor, just go to your graphical user interface and go ahead and right-click and open your project folder up in Sublime. But I'm going to cheat, because I can. So there we go, my Sublime. Sweet. Wow. Oh, come on. Go, 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 go. Sweet. Whoa, OK. Wow. Ah! My computer's so delayed right now. Great. OK, so I'm going to go to my index.html. I think I've got a thing. Yeah, there we go. I have a shortcut as well, all the shortcuts. My awesome page is my title. You got your head, you got your body. Let's put in some content. H1. I love Octocats, right? And then paragraph. Faux realsies. OK, that's about as much context as I'm going to put. Maybe I'll get an image. So I think I'm going to go and do an image. Let's get an Octocat image. Octocat. Images. Is this like the Breaking Bad guy? OK, that's oh, the Dia de los Muertos one. That's really cute. Oh, OK. Save image as. Once my computer decides to load. OK, there we go. Documents. I'm going to go find my folder. Where's projects? Oh, shoot. OK. Hang on, let's see. Choco 3. I love Octocats. Great. Then I'm going to save it inside of images. Save. Great. So now, hopefully it's in images. Sometimes Sublime Text doesn't show it. Let's double check. CD images. Sweet. OK, yeah. So my Sublime Text doesn't show it, but my image is in there. I'm going to link it. I want to link it in my HTML. Image source equals images slash, what is it? Close that out. And then I can check to make sure if this is working. I'm right-click, open in browser. I'm good, thank you. I've got some water. Is this going to work? Yay! Cool. This is a great time to commit. I made the images work. Git status, git add, git commit, -m, add image, basic content. Cool. Git status. Beautiful. I'm going to add some more content. I don't know. Let's say like this is going to be a section ID, git commands, or I don't know, comments. People shout some stuff out. Just shout some stuff out. I don't care. Whatever you want. Hello world. So classic. Yeah. Thank you. You're awesome. Someone else shout something out.
Thank you, Ross.
What?
Thank you, you're awesome.
Thank you. You're awesome. Great. OK. We've got some comments. Awesome. Git status. Git add. And see how it actually changes when some changes have been made? I'm going to add it to my staging. And also, it lets me know that index has been modified. Git commit -m. Add comments to index. OK. Now, but here's the thing. If I git checkout, so look at, if we check out what's in images here, right, on this branch, I see that I have my image in there. But if I check out back to master, if I hop back over to my copy of master, let's check that out. If I cd, well, look, there's actually no images folder. What? It's like, what's going on? Remember, branches are self-containing copies of your projects. So master is an older copy of my project, whereas my content feature branch is the newer code, newer copy of my project. Cool. Any questions there? OK. I'm going to check out back to my, but now, so I'm going to go check out back to my content feature. Check to make sure that everything's good. Everything looks good. I'm really happy with this. I think my content feature is done. I am so over it. It looks great. I am ready for that to be merged into my master, into my final, pristine, awesome working code. Master is going to be my official final thing. How do I do that? I check out back to master. And then I'm going to git merge content feature. So now what I'm doing is I'm taking everything, all the changes that I've made in content feature, and sticking it back into master. So see, as you can see, it says 2 files changed, 17 insertions, create images octocat. And so now my master looks the same as my content feature. We did it. It's awesome. But once I've merged a feature into my master, I don't need that feature branch anymore, right? Feature should be, once again, self-containing copies of your code that when you're done, you're just done with. So now I can delete my content feature branch. I think it's git branch -d. Actually, at any time, you can see what branches you have, and you can see what branch you're on. Git branch -d, content feature. That feature branch doesn't exist anymore, and master has my awesome, perfect working code. Any questions? Does someone want me to re-explain the flow one more time? Huh? Did I see a hand? Yeah, OK. Explain the flow one more time. Let me bring up my awesome, really terrible picture. Create a repo. New feature. Make a feature branch. Add files. Make changes. Do this as many times as you need, as you think you need for creating a chat box. The chat box feature, I'd probably break it down into making the text send to the other person, making me receive the other text, getting the UI all working, getting the API points, whatever you need. Commit, change, change, commit, change, commit, change, commit. I am done. My chat box works so beautifully. I'm going to be done with the feature. I'm going to hop back over to master, and then I'm going to merge that branch into master. And now master has my most perfect, awesome working code, and then I get to work on a new feature. Check out a new branch. Work on it, work on it, work on it, work on it. Done. Merge it into master. Questions? OK. Yes?
How do you recover a branch that you do that?
Not easily. Let's take a look. Recover deleted branch. How to restore a deleted branch. I'm going to let you take a look more further into that, okay? Because a lot of good documentation is provided online. Any other questions? Yes?
How to revert to the master again?
How to revert to the master?
If some branch has changed the master, but the master doesn't want to merge it.
Oh, you want to like unmerge something?
Yes.
So if I take a look, let's see, Git log will show you all my commits. Actually, let's do Git log pretty. Nope, not helpful. OK. Also not helpful. OK. So as you can see here, add comments to the index, add image, basic content, add index file. So add index file, I think was from my, master. That was before I merged it in. And then all these commits are from my feature branch, right? So what I can do is I can do a git reset. And I can say, hey, can you please go back 2 commits? Can you please unsave things, right? There's multiple different ways you can do this, by the way, so I'm going to also recommend that you look it up. This is just one way to accomplish this, maybe not the best way. So I want to revert 2 save points. I'm going to do a git reset. Now, git reset takes 2 options. Git reset takes a -- soft, which what it does is that, actually, let me draw this out. It's better drawn out. So this is for any commits. Doesn't even matter if it's merging or not, just for any commit system. Yeah. Sorry. All right, so I've commit 1. I've made a commit 2. I've made a commit on a branch, commit 3. I've made a commit. I want to move back to commit 1. 2 ways to do this. One is I do git reset -- soft, which what that will do is that will keep all the work that I've done. It'll keep all the work that I've done, but just uncommit it. So all my work still exists, but now this is committed and this stuff is not committed. So it's not saved. There's a second option, which is git reset -- hard, which instead will delete all of the changes that you've made, like completely. Everything's gone. So git reset hard will delete all the changes that you've made. Git reset soft will keep the changes, just unsave them. OK? Yes?
Can collaborators branch your own branch?
Yes. Yes, they can. But then what happens is that if you have collaborators and both of you are working off of the same branch, then the branch's history is going to diverge. And then merging that is always going to be problems. So I always recommend having 2 separate branches. Yes?
For git reset soft, how does it know to go to?
Oh, yes. It's going to be head. There's a couple different ways to do this as well. So once again, I'm going to recommend you look this up. Head tilde the number of commits that you want to go back. So like, in this case, it would be 2. OK? You can also use the SHA number of the commit. This is the SHA, the first 6 digits, and go back to that. I'm going to recommend that you look that up as well. Cool? So that's one way to unmerge. Yeah?
Sorry, can you explain how to merge your branch? into master again?
I want to, but I also want to show you how to do it through GitHub as opposed to local.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's like the better way to do it. So I showed you how to do that on local. So I showed you how to merge your own branches on local, but I'm going to actually, I want to move on to make sure that we've got 12 minutes. I want to make sure that we move on and talk about how to do it on GitHub, because then you start adding collaborators into the mix. Cool. Because nobody really does it on local anyways. I was just like showing for, you know when they teach you code and they're like, this is the way to do it, and then they're like, by the way, that's actually not the way to do it, this is the way you really do it. Yeah, I'm doing one of those. Sorry. Stop me at any time if you have questions. Okay, this section right here is gonna, sorry, terrible wording, branch off into GitHub, which we're gonna talk about now. Okay, so we've talked about feature flow, right? Now, how do I get collaborators? First of all, how do I get my code up to GitHub? And then secondly, how do I get collaborators into the mix, right? So this is what a feature flow should look like in general. I'm going to check out a new branch. Let's call this, I want to add some more images. Actually, I want to add some more, what do I want to add to my page? I want to add a footer. Let's add a footer. My footer is going to be very complex. So I've got my index. Going to add a footer. Content. I'm going to commit. Obviously, you should be doing more than this when you commit and add a feature, right? Like this should be like, you know, whatever links, social media links, whatever link, other website links, search bar, whatever you want. But for now, that's good. Okay, git status. I modified my index, great. Git add, git commit, -m. Add a footer. Now, I want to push this up to GitHub. The reason why I want to push it up to GitHub is so that I can have someone on my team review this code, right? If I were to take this branch right now and merge it into my master on my local, no one's ever going to see my code. My code's not going to see the light of day. Git push origin feature footer feature. Actually, before we do that, sorry, we're going to push master. We made some changes to master. Let's just push master up. You will need to enter in your username and password. If you want to avoid this, you can look this up, how to like enter this into your bash chain, something like that. Obviously, I have not done that. So I'm pushing up master. Let's go see if our master looks the same on our thing. OK, reload. Yeah, look, master just changed and now has all my changes that I made locally. But now I want to merge in this feature branch, this footer feature. And I want to make sure that one of my teammates can see it before I merge it in. So I'm going to git push origin. Origin means GitHub, essentially. It's another word for GitHub. Git push origin footer feature. So I'm pushing the branch up. And as you can see, dun, 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 footer feature was pushed up. And if you take a look here, I can actually look at my code, which is kind of cool. You don't ever want to edit code in here, by the way. Please don't do that, because it can't track it. Because GitHub doesn't have Git software on it, right? You can see that I have no footer on my master. But if I check out to my footer feature, my branch, you can see that I have my footer. Cool? Now, I want to have someone check out this branch. So I'm going to compare and pull request. Pull request is a really crappy term. It should really be called a merge request. I'm requesting this branch to be merged into my master. So remember how we typed git merge master? This is essentially this, just with the GitHub component. And also, I can tag collaborators here. How I add a collaborator, I go to settings, collaborators. Ah, crap. OK. Go to settings, add a collaborator. I can find someone via username and add them. I don't have any collaborators, so I'm not going to tag anybody. Compare pull request. I can even put in my bit emoji, or I can put in some emojis as well. I think it's fireworks. I don't know why it's not loading. Sometimes you can see. Oh, there we go. Come on. OK, cool. Looks great. Create my pull request. So I've technically tagged in somebody here. I've tagged somebody here. Then that person can go and say, hey, I'm going to look at your code. Code looks good. You added this in. OK, fantastic. Awesome. I'm cool with that. Merge pull request. Now this is going to merge this branch into master on GitHub. Confirm merge. Merged. Awesome. Can delete the branch. So just to reiterate what we did, on our local, we checked out a new branch. So we had our master. We have our master. We checked out a new branch. We called it, I think, footer, right? Checked out that new branch. Then what we did is we pushed that branch up to GitHub. Then on GitHub, there's actually a master branch as well, right? There's a master branch as well, and there was a feature branch created. And I merged it into there. But now, so this is master 1. But now the problem is that master on my GitHub has my feature branch code in it. We just merged it. But my master on my local does not. So what do we need to do? We need to pull my updated master down. So if I take a look, master on my GitHub has my footer code. If I git check out master here, my master on my local does not have my footer, right? I have not merged that code in. I'm going to do git pull on master. When I'm on the master branch, I'm going to do git pull origin master. It's thinking. And see, it fast forwarded my index.html to match what's at my origin. So this is what we did. Once again, we had a master on our local. We checked out a feature branch. We made some changes. We pushed that feature branch up to GitHub. We merged it into our master on GitHub, and then we pulled it down. This is the part right here where you get collaborators involved to check out your code. Cool? If you have a collaborator. If not, you can just review it yourself. Maybe get a second pair of eyes, especially if it's like a difficult piece of code. Yes?
So at this point, like the footer feature branch, that exists locally still? Or is that deleted locally?
It's not deleted locally. You have to manually delete it. So now I'm going to, now that I've taken down my most perfect, awesome master from my GitHub, I'm going to delete, what am I going to do? I'm going to git branch -d footer feature, right? So now, master to feature, feature to local feature to origin feature, feature into master, master down, delete, delete, check out a new branch. That, my friends, is Git workflow. OK, any questions? Yes?
So I only recently found out about GitLab.
Yes.
What are the main differences between that?
GitLab has more features available for free. So like if you want private repositories, they also have a different kind of, I think they might have a different like merge or flow or issue tracking. They have a more advanced issue tracking system. You only need GitLab if you have like a team that you're working on, like maybe like 4 or 5 people that you need just kind of some extra things for. If you're just doing some basic projects, stick with GitHub. Unless you really want some private repositories. I think their flow is just slightly different, but they still use the underlying Git software. Cool? Yes?
So the question is related to workflow. So if there is a collaborator who is
Yes.
doing it on GitHub,
Yes.
so first I need to pull the code, and then do my changes and then push it back.
You pull, so like if you're a collaborator, if I'm going to add you to this code right now, you pull down, you clone down. So the first thing you'll do is clone down, copy down the entire project, right? So remember the cloning that we did? And then check out a new branch. You don't want to be working on master. You don't want to be working on the branch that they're working on, right? Check out a new branch, work on that branch, push that branch up, notify your collaborator, right? Notify your collaborator. Your collaborator will merge it in, and then everyone must pull down the new master. Okay? So group workflow is a little bit more tricky. You might see a thing called merge conflicts. What merge conflicts happen when the timing of the code doesn't happen quite correctly. I unfortunately don't have time to get into that today, but there's lots of documentation online as to how to kind of solve that. And also my reference that I have for this will also be talking, once I'm done working on it, we'll have a little bit talking about that. So there's a reference, I think, at the very top. Yeah, so this wiki will talk about a little bit more about group workflow once I'm done with it. Yes?
Do you have to have the GitHub desktop app installed?
No.
You do not.
No. The GitHub desktop app is if you want a graphical interface to that. So everything that we just did can be done graphically. However, this flow is slightly different, and this is the way that people do it in production. So via command line. Via command line. But like whatever works for you as well, honestly.
Okay, because there was a GitHub command line download to go with the desktop app. So you wouldn't need either one if you have your own command line like it.
Yes, you can use, yeah. You can also use the GitHub command line, and that's totally legit as well. Yeah.
The command's the same?
Yeah, the commands are the same. Yes. Yeah, the PowerPoint is at bit.ly git_it_tutorial, and the wiki is also going to be bit.ly git_it wiki. Blah. Okay. Any other questions? It's going to be, there's some underscores. Yeah, you can't see the underscores with the underlines.
Oh, I can see.
Yeah. Yes.
Is SVN kind of the same thing, or?
I don't know what SVN is. What is SVN?
Subvert. It's like a different control system.
Let's take a look.
Yeah, with the N.
With an N?
Yeah.
SVN. I don't know. Something to do with Apache by the looks of it. Software versioning, yeah. So it looks like it's a software versioning from Apache. I don't know if anyone really uses it. Or maybe Git might actually build on top of that. So a lot of these are like kind of legacy things. So any other questions? All right, I know it's a lot. It's a lot to take. Please review the slides. If you have any questions, I'm going to be around for the next 2 hours. Happy to help. Yeah, cool. Thank you so much, folks. Really appreciate it.